Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gorwaa Symposium 2025, held as part of the course Linguistic Field Research Methods at the University of Bayreuth. I am, as in previous years, very happy to welcome you all along as we present, discuss, and share what we've learned about the language during this year's course of study. For those of us encountering the Gorwaa language for the first time today, Gorwaa is a Southern Cushitic language spoken by approximately 133,000 people in and around the Babati district of Manyara region in north-central Tanzania. As can be seen on this map, it exists within a rich language ecology. For some further detail on the Gorwaa language, as well as some wider social and historical context, I encourage you to consult an introductory video developed for this class, which can be accessed via the QR code on screen. Personally, my work with the Gorwaa language and people began in 2012 and continues up to present. The kind of work I've been involved with has undergone some important transformations along the way, perhaps the most interesting being when local Gorwaa people themselves began conducting research on their own language and culture. I recently provided some reflection on this process in another talk, which again, if interested, one can access via the QR link on screen. This year in Gorwaa language work has been an exciting one because it's produced a handful of nice outputs which are sort of new to the Gorwaa publication list. We have one by Alex Andresen and mine and me working on interactive, so interjections in Gorwaa. Andras Barani incorporated some data from Gorwaa in his case and agreement alignment in ditransitive constructions, typological gap in its explanation. Rael Dires made a Gorwaa alphabet chart for the community called Insahariring Gorwaa, so learning Gorwaa. And Mela, who is one of the presenters here today, presented pseudo-nominalization, which in distributed morphology and nanosyntax. So we have a handful of new additions to our Gorwaa bibliography, and for those of us interested in wanting to stay up on a growing subfield, I encourage you to check those out. Here is Rael's output, which is the Gorwaa alphabet, or a Gorwaa alphabet chart, which lists the consonant and vowel sounds of the language and gives a very nice sort of child-friendly visual cue to what the word is. And I think that these sort of outputs are very exciting in the fact that many of us work within, purely academic paradigms. And I think it's really exciting to see people like Rael taking what we know from an academic perspective and trying to put it into a format that feeds it back to the community. So I'm very excited about this, and I hope that when we do the Gorwaa Symposium 2026, we'll see some more additions to this kind of academic output as well. So today is, in fact, the fourth Gorwaa Symposium to take place. The first happened at Leiden University in 2020, followed by two others, which have been occurring annually since I began convening a field methods course at the University of Bayreuth. And those interested in exploring the previous year's talks can do so via the QR code on screen. This year's field methods course was held in a semester-long format with participants convening weekly for a 2-hour session focused on relevant skills such as methods of data collection and relevant software. The course also featured additional support sessions in which participants could spend some extra time together working through the data, asking questions, and formulating their elicitation schedules for the coming sessions. The primary aspect of the course, however, were the data collection sessions in which participants worked with a speaker of the Gorwaa language, eliciting language material in the service of research associated with a specific aspect of the language. Unlike a traditional field methods course, however, our course participants were located in Germany, or in the case of Stanislav, even further afield, while our speaker was in central Tanzania. The physical gap was filled by the messaging and video calling application WhatsApp. So we use this because it was popular and relatively reliable in Tanzania. And elicitation was done over a group call with the course participants joining from their various locations and the Gorwaa consultant in a quiet location in Babati town. In addition to WhatsApp, elicitation sessions were recorded from Babati with a Zoom H5 audio recording device, and then these sound files were then sent to us shortly after each session, such that the participants could revisit their elicitation for close listening and review. I will make a note, however, that additional complications arose in using WhatsApp in that when large sound files were transferred using WhatsApp, they were immediately converted into a proprietary format that first of all made it very difficult to integrate into the WhatsApp software. So what had to happen if material was sent via WhatsApp, it had to be turned back from that proprietary format, the sound files, from that proprietary format back into WAV files that could be more fully integrated with the ALON program. So that for people who are trying to emulate this kind of structure, we'll take that into account. WhatsApp works, but transferring the sound files was a little bit tricky because it did a strange automatic transformation of the original file. So that's just another step to keep in mind for the future. Here is a photo of our classroom this year during one of our data collection sessions with Stanislav up in the right left. We have Hezekiah in the top right. We have Mela in the lower left, and then Paula and I here in the office in the lower right. And as in previous years, we are heavily indebted to Mchungaji Hezekiah Cody, who served as our main language consultant during this course. And in addition to Gorwaa, Hezekiah is also fluent in English, which means that he is able to take questions in English from course participants and answer with the Gorwaa target forms. And this is not something every Gorwaa speaker can do. And so his participation was really sort of an essential ingredient in the running of this course. In addition to his linguistic talent, Hezekiah's attention to how a single phrase may be said in many different ways always results in a series of varied and interesting responses. And for this and many other reasons, our thanks goes out to him once again for sharing his knowledge of his language with us. This year's symposium features 4 talks. After I get the introductory material out of the way, we actually have a change in the schedule. So Mela is going to start with his talk, which continues on work from last year. He will present more on complement clauses in Gorwaa. And I believe Stanislav will be going second. Yeah. And he will be focusing on causation strategies in Gorwaa. And finally, Paula Batterman will be talking about Gorwaa adjectives, exploring gender and number variations. And this year, I was actually cajoled into giving a talk of my own, and that's going to be an initial exposition of Gorwaa place names. Finally, I'd like to make it clear that most of the participants in this year's symposium began working with the language in late April, so their work represents not even 2 full months of research. So as such, all transcriptions, translations, and larger results should be seen as preliminary. And what the Gorwaa Symposium is about really is showcasing a series of diverse approaches to complex language data and novel findings, and can inform how we proceed in our understanding of the Gorwaa language. However, though preliminary, all of the research presented today is real and relevant, and for this, I would like to say thank you to Paula, Stanislav, and Mela for conducting their research as such. And thank you for all the time, thought, and labor you put into this work. And I'm very excited indeed to hear what you have to say and to be sharing in this short series of talks with you. So without any further ado, I'd like to say let's get on with it and begin with our first talk of the day, and I'll end with the figures and the references.